Yeah, the first year Istabraq won the champion hurdle, I remember going down to Ballydoyle, where Aidan trains, and I said, "Well, Aidan, what do you think, Istabraq in the champion hurdle?" He says, "He'll destroy them." He said, so so he was fairly right.
One, two, and three. Dato Star sits four, shooting right five. Red Blazer wide six. Morello with that 1-7. Karawi the inside, followed by Mr. Get and San
He
Martino.
jumped really well. I rode him handy on the outside. When you're riding the best horse, you're better off slightly out and trying to get a clear run. He jumped really well. There was no, there was never time in the race where I thought I was going to lose. You often do in a race, but he travelled great, jumped great. I kicked on that round the last bend, and he won very easy. Yeah, it was fantastic. Aidan said he destroyed him, and he did. Um, Yeah, he was just a very good horse, but his jumping was fantastic. He was very quick, very sure of himself, and yeah, that was brilliant that day.
But they're toiling in the wake as they race up towards the line because the champion hurdle this year, the Smartford champion hurdle, goes to the Irish on St. Patrick's Day. It's Istabraq and Charlie Swan who win. It's going to be a Irish 1-2 to steer the world comes through the second half of Hayden Third. Good one for Ferrari, Mr.
The following year, then when Istabraq was going for the champion hurdle, he was after winning the Irish champion hurdle again. He won, I think, four Irish champion hurdles altogether. But he was, yeah, he was beat. I mean, he was only beaten the once after the champion hurdle. He got beaten in Liverpool, probably my fault. And then he was unbeaten then until going to Cheltenham again for his second year. Again, there was a lot of pressure, but when you're riding a good horse, and you kind of, I find when you're riding those good horses, you just have to go. You can't think of, oh, there's odds on or that this and that. You just try to do your best, and I probably that sort of character that I do like. I probably did like to show off a little bit, so I probably rode better on the bigger days than the than the smaller days. So I like to impress. So I probably rode better on the big days, and I found the pressure never really got to me too much. So you kind of go out hoping everything will go right, and luckily it did on him. So yeah, you do have a bit of relief when you go by the line. You kind of go, thank God that's over. The third one, on the way down to the start, I remember Richard Johnson was riding a horse of Martin Pipes, and he ran very free on the way down. A horse called Make a Stand, and I just knew they were going to go very, very fast. The ground was quite quick that day too, which sort of suited us. And we jumped off. When we jumped off, I was flat out, so I ended up a long way back. But I felt I was comfortable. I felt if I was to be any handier, I probably would have been on my head, and he might not have come home as well. But I was happy where I was the whole way through the race. I went down the inside, and there's only one little problem. I thought I might have a problem after I jumped the second last. Norman Williamson was just in front of me, and I knew if I shouted, he'd come in on me, even though he's good friends of mine. But I didn't dare shout. I just went there and I got up his inner. And then when we turned in, I was lucky enough to get up Mick Fitzgerald's inside as well. But he won very, very easily, and he broke the track record that day.
Quickens up smartly on the inside and is poised to challenge. All Anwar back in third, then Caterina is stage affair. Here comes Istabraq on the inside of Blue Royal. Running on the outside of Anwar, but Istabraq strikes the front with just his favourite hill to climb. Blue Royal second, then Ashley Park and Anwar, and Istabraq's going on to win his third Smurfit champion hurdle. 4 festival wins running for Istabraq is the champion, a champion of champions.
Look, I think we knew after the first, if he had any bit of luck, he could win 4 or 5 champion hurdles. He thought he was that good, and You just need to. It's very hard. It's very hard to get them to Cheltenham 4 or 5 years in a row. Not, but imagine trying to win 4 or 5 years in a row. Like it's hard enough to get them there because they're so delicate and stuff. So we did. It was just when he won the third, then unfortunately the foot and mouth came, and he couldn't defend his crown for the fourth.